while I was still young, and they asked me in a class, what do you want to be when you grow up? The teacher asked me that, I told the teacher I want to be a bank robber. Like instead of 3, like grade 4, what do you call it, grade 4 or 5, it was a big issue. They had to call my parents. I was beaten up, it was a serious issue. So growing up, I never had any proper role models. Just like most of our kids in the townships, you get graduates who are unemployed and criminals who are driving flashy cars and enjoying life, So it has been always like that since, I don't know, maybe based on the I don't know, I can't say apartheid or something, but it has always been like that, When growing up, I just wanted to be someone who can belong to a certain group of people and be feared and not respected but feared by the community.
Something must be done. Something must be done. Come on.
I was the youngest in my cell. They called me Mangani. But I joined the gangster at 28. It's a gangster. They're a very violent gang in prison. I joined at 28. And now I've got a number outside. I meet other people with numbers again. So now I'm a criminal. It's confirmed.
Something must be done. Come on.
Smuggling, yeah, it was. Well, I was doing it at the low level, like your taga, box, there and there. Until such time I met, this gentleman. I always, when he comes back, I'll go there, wash the car. Hey, my boss. And he was our neighbor. So what happened? The community, they went to that guy. They told him, they had a special meeting. They said, what, my friend, you must watch out. That young man is a thief. Don't let him play next to your things, because he's a thief. He'll steal your things. But that guy, instead of him pushing me away, he made me his best friend. I did a lot of trips. I did about between 8 and 10 trips that I did, and I was traveling to different platforms, So this time when I got caught, I invited my girlfriend. And by the way, at home they thought I was a DJ. My mama thought I was a DJ. I took my wife, took my girlfriend. She was then my girlfriend. Axe, Zambia. Because of OR Tambo, I couldn't go to OR Tambo because the previous week I was in OR Tambo. I passed through there. So I used now Zambia airport. We had other connection in Zambia. And then we were using different passports. So I had different passports for different occasions. So passing Zambia, went to Zambia, we don't carry anything. I never carry anything. The only time I carry the drugs is when I reach Heathrow in London. So everything from here going there, it's sorted. The only problem is to take them from that conveyor belt, take them there, get out of the customs in London. As I went to the airport, passed through customs every day, my wife passed, it was my turn. When I was supposed to pass, that police officer, he asked me, no, but said, tell me, when did you come to Zambia? I said, yesterday. He said, what were you doing here? I said, no, I was here for a meeting. And I landed yesterday about 5 o'clock in the evening. And then it's about 5 o'clock in the morning, that flight. He said, but the meeting, he said, but now, so why did you book your flight to London? And it was paid cash, that my flight ticket in Zambia. He said, but say, from South Africa, you've got so many traveling agencies in South Africa, but you decide to book your flight in Zambia, you book one in Johannesburg, you book one. Why such an inconvenience? And you know what, when you've got drugs, you don't want any question. And then I couldn't answer that. She said, no, wait there. So I brought my way out of Zambia. Then I gave them money, they let me pass. But after letting me pass, they tipped off Heathrow. as we landed, they just told us in the intercom, they said remain in your seats. All passengers remain in your seats. Customs wants to verify something. And then I saw the police come inside. And then they came for me, they took my wife, they came for me. And then I told them, I've got, you're wasting your time, I've got drugs. So that's how I got arrested. So my sentence was cut into 15 months. And then January came. January, they said the flight is available. And then I took my flight, came back to South Africa. Then fast forward to now, we've got about 25 employees through those 10 cents. So, you know, I don't know if I should maybe conclude with it, you know, that, you know what, it's always best, you know, you can do things on yourself, but having someone on your side to motivate you, someone who believes in you. I mean, I never thought I'll be sitting here today